Good morning, guys. Today we're going to be talking about subject-verb agreement, and I want you to go back to your notes where we learn about subject and predicate before we go there. Now, the previous video showed you that a complete sentence will need a subject and a predicate in order to be complete. The subject is who or what, your noun, or a pronoun, right? And your predicate is what about your subject, your verb, or an adjective. Today, for subject-verb agreement, we're going to focus on these two components. On the subject, which could be a noun or a pronoun, and how those two relate to the verb. Okay? So if you have your notes, if you happen to have a highlighter, let's use that. If not, a pencil will do. Let's go to a brand new page and let's work with subject and verb agreement. First of all, now that you remember what a subject is, I need you to understand the importance of singular and plural before we work today. Singular are words that means just one. Singular equals one. But plural is two or more. Let's leave that over there because we're going to be needing it. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is that we're going to write the title for today's lesson. Subject, verb, agreement. And an agreement is when you have a deal, right? When you agree on doing something under certain circumstances. So for the subject and verb to agree, they're going to be needing to make sure that one of this is happening. So let's take a closer look to that so you know what I mean. The agreement is if the noun or if the subject, because it could be a pronoun, if the subject is singular, then the verb will be plural. Make sure that you copy this, and that if you have a highlighter, that you do. The following. Now, important. If the subject is singular, then the verb will be plural. Let's see an example of that. For my example, I'm going to use Maria. Maria. Now, first of all, I need you to notice how many Marias am I talking about? I'm talking about one, right? So it's singular. So that means that if my subject, and I boxed it like I learned in the previous video, is singular, then my predicate needs to be plural. And one of the things that she likes to do is swim. So Maria swims. Notice that swims needs an S. You wouldn't say Maria swim, right? Let's do another one. For the next one, I want to use a picture of one of my favorite books, Shake Puppies. Now, I want you to take a look at this book for a moment. What is the dog doing? He's what? Shaking, right? So Let me use that over here to create my sentence. So my next sentence would be, the puppy. I have this next to it. It won't focus, so I'm going to put it on over here. You will be able to see it. The puppy shakes. Notice that the puppy is my subject, and I'm talking only about one puppy. So the subject is singular, but the verb needs to be plural. Okay. Now, that's one of the agreements they have. The other agreement they have is the following. If the subject is plural, then the verb will need to be singular. Only one of them can be singular at a time. The other one will need to be plural. So I'm going to put a number 1 over here so you know that that's the first agreement. And the second agreement is if the subject I already have singular, so is plural, then the verb will be singular. Make sure you're writing this. Then if you have a highlighter, you highlight. Here it is. Subject plural, then the verb will be singular. Now, one of the examples that we could use is the same one as the book. Notice that in the book, they have puppies in plural. Why? Because this book is full of puppies that are shaking, right? The pictures of the dogs shaking after getting wet, right? It doesn't have any words. But I like this book. Not all books have words. Now, since they're talking about many, many puppies that are shaking, the subject is in plural because the verb is in singular. Notice here, the puppy shakes. But when there is many, many puppies, then they shake. You remove the S on the verb. Let's make the sentence. The example. And then puppies in plural. Puppies. Oh, because you have a consonant and Y, you change the Y to an I and add the S. So it's plural. My subject is plural this time. That means that my verb needs to be in singular. And the word is shakes, so shakes in singular is shake. There you have it. You read at the end, of course. That's the subject-verb agreement. You have to be careful. If you know who's your subject, you will be able to make sure that your predicate is in the right form, okay? Now, don't forget, singular is 1, plural is 2 or more. That will be key for you to be able to make this sentence. Let's say humans. You have several humans together. You can say they, we. You can put 2 names together. Let's put 2 names together. Orlando and Daniel, right? Now I have 2 subjects. That means that is plural because I have 2 or more. So my subject is Orlando and Daniel. They don't need to have an S at the end of their names. I have two, right? Orlando and Daniel. So let me see what they will be doing. They will draw, okay? So how would you say that? Orlando and Daniel draw or draws? It doesn't sound right, the second one, right? It needs to be in singular because my subject is already in plural, and the rule says that if my subject is in plural, the verb needs to be in singular, right? You can also say Jenny and Shirley. That's my subject. And I want to say that they are competing because they want to see who is faster. So should I say run or runs? Jenny and Shirley runs. Jenny and Shirley run. If my subject is plural, then my verb will need to be in singular. So you identify that the subject is in plural, and on the verb, you make sure that it's in singular. I'll leave some exercises on the box below and on ClassDojo. Please make sure that you box in your subject, underline the predicate, and then tell me if the subject is in plural, then you put a P. If the subject is in singular, you put an S. And then, of course, you tell me how the verb should be. I hope this has been helpful. I'll also leave a link for you to use another video of Brain Pop, which is actually pretty nice too. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video and some questions. Bye guys, miss you.